Like, how do you feel now that you've obviously just crushed that person's existence?
I feel like I wish I had the amount of followers that you had.
Okay, but
you have a lot of followers.
What about being grateful for what you have? Like, how do you feel about?
I'm grateful for what I have, but my goal is to be bigger than that.
When Bobbi Althoff blew up just because she interviewed some playboy in bed, of course it went viral, especially when that playboy was Drake. That moment was always going to get clicks. But after that, she was nothing. No talent, no charm, no substance. Just a deadpan act that got old fast. It's no surprise Bobbi's been shoved out of the spotlight, and honestly, nobody's missing her. Her whole career was built on writing other people's names, and when that stopped working, she had nothing left to offer.
Answered very defensively.
No, I'm really fly though, and it's like, you don't get it.
Okay, I was trying to understand. You don't have to be so mean.
I'm not being mean. It's just you don't get it. So I'm very passionate about the people that don't get it, because they need to get it, because they dress like you and then they be lost.
Bobbi Althoff didn't exactly come out of the gate as some mysterious media talent. She was just another young mom in Paris, California, posting TikToks about her pregnancy and parenting life back in 2021. Videos of her waddling around Disneyland in the summer heat, joking about being 10 months pregnant. That's where she started. She had this running gag about naming her daughters Concrete and Richard to keep their real names private, even making up a fake middle name, Sawdust, to go with it. She leaned into this quirky, dry delivery early, but make no mistake, it was calculated. She kept notes on what would get attention and cycled through different styles of content until something clicked. By then, she was married to Corey Althoff, a senior VP at CompTIA and a published author in the tech world. They had 2 kids, and for a while, she played into that mom content lane. But the more time went on, the more it looked like she was itching for something bigger than diaper jokes and relatable parenting skits. Brand deals and the TikTok Creator Fund started pulling in serious cash. We're talking $250,000 to $300,000 a year. But even that wasn't enough. She admitted that chasing daily virality was exhausting, and she wanted a bigger, more sustainable payout.
I will miss doing this podcast, and I will miss the money this podcast brought me. As you guys know, this podcast started off just with a girl with a dream to make more money.
That's when she decided TikTok alone wasn't going to cut it. In 2023, she made her next move, podcasting.
I wasn't laughing about depression.
Yeah, you are.
Excuse me.
Please stop that. Are you serious right now?
A lot of tears that happen.
Do you post those on social media for views, though?
I would disagree with that.
You want people to see you crying.
The first attempt, So You're Rich, went nowhere, so she rebranded to The Really Good Podcast. The hook? That same deadpan, disinterested act she'd been testing out online, now aimed directly at celebrities. She even paid her followers $300 if they could get her a notable guest. That's how she landed comedian Rick Glassman early on, setting the tone for what she called a parody of a good interview. She didn't prepare. She didn't ask deep questions. She made awkwardness the brand.
Your podcast is going a little bit downhill.
I could not post this if you really feel that.
Okay.
We could end this and I could not post it. I'll let you make that decision. If you get up and leave, I won't show any of this stuff.
I'm doing you a favor. You came on my podcast when it was nothing, so I'm helping you. Your podcast is nothing right now, and I'm doing you a favor.
Then came the real turning point. After an appearance with Funny Marco pulled in a couple of million views, Drake noticed her.
Drake liked one of the videos I had uploaded, and he followed me. I didn't realize it at first. Marco called me, and he was like, Bobbi, look who just followed you. So I filtered it to verified only people, and I was like, oh my God.
And that was all the opening she needed. She DM'd him, and 3 days later, she was in Memphis, sitting in bed, interviewing one of the biggest rappers in the world. That Drake interview was her rocket launch. Over 1 billion views across platforms, hundreds of millions of likes, and her name everywhere. But even in that moment, the cracks were already showing. People were side-eyeing her for skipping her daughter's first birthday to make the trip. Others pointed out the obvious similarities between her style and Amelia de Moldenberg from Chicken Shop Date. Only Amelia comes off as awkward but warm, while Bobbi's version was cold, condescending, and inconsistent. And then there were the whispers. Was she really just some random mom who got lucky? Or was she an industry plant with UTA backing her rise? She played along with a joke, even posting a TikTok dancing to Barbie World, with the caption, "Celebrating because the industry planted me." But the suspicion never went away.
You did. I really do appreciate
On my daughter's first birthday.
I wasn't going to bring that up. You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Bobbi's reputation really started circling the drain. The second people realized her quirky deadpan wasn't just a bit. It was who she actually was. Missing her own child's first birthday for a Drake interview wasn't just a lapse in judgment. It was the defining example of where her priorities were. And when Drake himself called it horrible parenting in the interview, that moment cemented the public's view of her as a self-serving opportunist who would sacrifice anything, even her kids, if it meant standing next to a famous man. And the thing is, this wasn't some fluke. Bobbi has admitted, in her own words, that she's on a lifelong journey to get money. She's openly obsessed with monetizing every part of her life. Combine that with her habit of showing zero real warmth toward guests or audiences, and you have a brand built entirely on being in the right room at the right time. Not on talent, skill, or anything people could connect with.
And they think that because, like, where did this girl come from? I mean, sure, she had great mom content for a while, but like, where's she getting all these big celebrities? And here you are blowing up.
Signing with United Talent Agency and snatching an iHeart Award so early in her career only poured fuel on the fire for the industry plant rumors. People already suspected she had someone powerful pulling strings. Seeing her suddenly in the same management orbit as the very celebrities she interviewed made it feel even more like a manufactured rise, not an earned one. Then came the mess with Drake. The deleted episode, the unfollows, the SXSW party story where she was allegedly removed after showing up uninvited. She played coy, but by then the gossip was feeding itself. And right in the middle of all that, divorce papers. The separation date, July 4th, 2023, fell right when she was riding the Drake hype.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
I'd do it. There's you
Not an it.
I know, I just felt like
It didn't take a conspiracy theorist to connect the dots. And just when you thought she'd try to lie low, a clip resurfaces of her mocking her husband for not making enough money, literally telling him to make more money, darling, after racking up an $8,000 credit card bill on a whim. This is the guy who'd been funding her lifestyle, supporting her content grind, and raising their kids. That clip alone stripped away any last bit of misunderstood sympathy she might have had left.
Or what anyone says, there is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these.
My husband sleeps downstairs and I sleep upstairs where the children sleep, and I take care of them all night long because I'm generally pretty tired. So he does all of the cleaning and he does an amazing job at it. So yeah, that's probably enough about our marriage. Do you think you could go downstairs and get me coffee?
By this point, her audience had figured her out. They weren't watching for Bobbi anymore. They were watching to see her get humiliated.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish.
That Offset interview is a perfect example. Guests, like Funny Marco, who had helped put her on, pulled out of joint shows because her quiet comedy fell flat in a live setting. Audiences who paid good money for tickets weren't getting a performance. They were getting awkward silence and weak banter. She blamed her inability to adapt on debilitating social anxiety. But the truth is, Bobbi wasn't interested in growing as a performer. The deadpan, minimal effort persona was all she had, and she refused to change it even when it was actively killing her career. That stubbornness, or maybe laziness, is a big reason the hate toward her feels so justified, and her attempts to stay relevant were pathetic. That brief, viral pop with Suki Hana looked promising, but every follow-up flopped. Vulnerability plays, talking about a suicide attempt at 14, crying over a breakup, came off as performative, especially since she'd never shown real depth before. It's hard for people to believe you have layers when you've built your brand on being shallow.
Would you date someone that looks like me? Because there's just a person
What does that mean?
like looks exactly like me. They have a twin.
Maybe.
If I had a twin,
Maybe.
would you date them?
If she was like cool and like
At the core of the backlash is a simple truth. Bobbi's entire rise was transactional. She used other people's fame as a ladder, and when that ladder stopped holding her up, she had nothing. No unique insight, no skill, no real connection to her audience. Her interviews were never about the guest or even about entertaining people. They were about proximity to clout. And she made sure the audience knew she valued that over everything else, including her marriage and her kids. By the time she announced the really good podcast was ending, her fall wasn't a shock. It was overdue. People weren't sad, they were gleeful. Comment sections were full of, "This is what happens when you leave your family to chase clout." And she really wasn't joking when she said she fell off. The numbers told the same story. Episodes that once racked up millions of views were barely breaking 40,000. And here's why the hate is sticking. Bobbi's story is the internet's worst instincts wrapped in one person. She had a calculated rise built entirely on opportunism, a refusal to adapt when the gimmick stopped working, and a track record of trading relationships and stability for temporary attention. She became a symbol of what happens when you chase being seen instead of being respected. Now she's talking about working on a TV comedy series, like a rebrand will fix it. But the problem isn't the format, it's her. When the audience decides they don't like you, no platform can save you. So the real question is, can someone come back from this kind of complete public rejection? Or is Bobbi Althoff just another cautionary tale about burning everything that matters for 15 minutes of fame? Let me know in the comments. Hit like if you enjoy seeing internet it girls implode, and subscribe for more deep dives into the rise and crash of people who thought they'd last forever.